Now we will see how we will develop the SPI drivers for this Ethernet controller IC ENC28J60. So here I have opened the datasheet of the Ethernet controller IC. Now we will gather some basic data about the SPI interface. So what data we will require, that we have to find out what is the maximum clock speed that this IC can support, what is the maximum clock frequency, and what is the format of data transfer, whether it is MSB first or LSB first, and what is the idle state of the clock line, that is the SCK line. What is the idle state? That means when no data is transferred on this SPI port, this what should be the state of this SCK line, whether it should be high or logic low. That all this data first we need to collect from datasheet. So now let us come to the datasheet. Here I have opened the datasheet. So in the introduction itself it is written that the SPI interface with clock speed up to 20 megahertz. That means this controller IC we can have SCK speed up to 20 megahertz, and it should not exceed 20 megahertz, so it is better to keep less than 20 megahertz. The same information is also given in the electrical characteristics section here in the AC characteristics. The SPI input and output timing characteristics. In here in the table 16.6 SPI interface AC characteristics, it is FSCK clock frequency. The maximum value is 20 megahertz, so our SPI ports clock frequency should be less than 20 megahertz. So we will note down this information. 20, it is 20 megahertz. Now let us try to find what is the format of data transfer, whether it is MSB first or LSB first. Let us come to the datasheet again. Open this serial peripheral interface section. So from the diagram you can see that MSB is sent first and finally the LSB is sent, that is least significant bit, and the most significant bit, that is MSB, is sent first. Okay, so let us also write this information down to our sheet. It is MSB first. Now let us come to find out what is the idle state of clock line. It is also visible from this diagram that initially the SCK line is at low level and then it goes to high level when data transaction begins, and it is also written here SCK be at the idle low state. The SPI port requires that SCK be at idle in a low state. That means the idle state of this SCK line is low. That means when no data is transferring over the SPI bus, the logical level of this SCK pin will be low, that it will be low level. The idle state is low. Now we have all the information required to configure the SPI port of STM32 using CubeMX. Now let us go to the CubeMX and create our new project. Start new STM32 project. Now here write down the name of the STM32 microcontroller. Now we are using STM32F051R8. This IC we are using. So double click. It is an LQFP64 package, 64 pin IC that is used in STM32F4 discovery board. Now we have to enter the name of our project. We have prefixed the name of this project with dev because we are using for this development purpose of this driver. Right now it is in development phase, so we write it, we prefixed, suffixed it with this letters dev, so that we can know this is the development project. Target language is C. Rest all option should be like this. Now the first thing that we will do is to configure the clock source for this microcontroller. So we will go to the clock configuration section. By default this microcontroller is clocked by 8 megahertz system clock internal RC oscillator. You can see that sys clock, that is the main system clock of this microcontroller, it is 8 megahertz, but this microcontroller can run up to 48 megahertz, so this is pretty slow for this. So first we will increase the clock frequency of this microcontroller so that we can execute at maximum speed. By default this system clock is clocked by HSI, that is high speed internal crystal, not crystal, high speed internal RC oscillator. This is the HSI RC, that is resistor capacitor based RC oscillator, and its frequency is 8 megahertz only, and it is directly connected to the system clock. So we are getting 8 megahertz, but first we want to increase the clock frequency to maximum, that is up to 48 megahertz. So we have to use the PLL clock. PLL is the phased lock loop. This is the technology that is used in STM32 and many other microcontroller to increase the clock frequency. Actually the source of oscillation is low, means a low frequency crystal or a low frequency internal oscillator. Then we scale up this frequency to a high frequency. High frequency is generated using this PLL. So instead of this system clock clocking the system from HSI, we will clock it by through PLL. This will change like this. Now our system clock is not connected directly to the HSI, but it is getting clock from PLL. So it's time to configure the PLL. Here is the PLL block. So you can see here that 8 megahertz frequency is incoming to this PLL, and it is divided by 2. So the input to the PLL, this is the PLL, the input is 4 megahertz. Now we have to multiply it with some value. We can choose many value from here so that we can get a 48 megahertz output. So for that we have to select a multiplier of 12. See, now our system has become 48 megahertz. Now our system clock has become 48 megahertz. This is what we wanted. Earlier it was only 8 megahertz, now it is 48 megahertz, because earlier we were this clock from HSI, internal HSI, was going directly to the system clock, but now it is going through PLL, and PLL is increasing, means multiplying this frequency through 12, and we are getting 48 megahertz. This is the first step. Now let us configure the SPI. So we'll go to the pinout and configuration section, and here under connectivity section go to SPI1. We will use SPI1 for this. Okay, by default it is disabled. We have to change it to full duplex master. There are also other options, but we do not select them because what we require is full duplex master. Full duplex means data will be communicated from either side, from master to slave and slave to master, both side. And in this case our microcontroller is master, so we'll select master, not a full duplex slave. And hardware NSS signal will be disabled. And here are the configuration parameters. We will configure as per our requirement. That is the requirement of our Ethernet controller IC ENC28J60, according to the requirement of that IC. So first thing is that frame format Motorola, leave it as it is. This data size, that is 4-bit, you have to change it to 8 bits. All transactions are done in 8-bit bytes. And here it is asking what is the first bit, whether it is MSB or LSB. So we have already recorded this, that our transactions are MSB first, so we'll select that only, that is MSB first. And now we have here the prescaler. So our CPU is running at 48 megahertz and we will use a divider of 4. So 48 divided by 4, we will be getting a 12 megahertz SPI clock speed. Here you can see baud rate, it is calculated 12 megahertz, that is 48 megahertz divided by 4, we get 12 megahertz. And this is under the requirement of our Ethernet controller IC, that is 20 megahertz. 12 megahertz is less than 20 megahertz, so we can run it easily. This is the maximum speed we can achieve using this 48 megahertz clock source, because if you select 2, it will not support, it will give an error. With this prescaler frequency 48 megahertz, baud rate is more than 18 megahertz, which is supported by this microcontroller, so it is not possible. So we have to select 4 only. This is the fastest. And clock polarity, what is the idle state of clock? We have already noted it down that idle state of clock is low, so we have selected like that, clock polarity low, and rest all options are correct. So we can save this project and generate the code. In the next part we will analyze the code.